Anyway, let's get back to the Arab Americans in Michigan.
Of State and Defense suggest U.S. military aid could be in jeopardy if there is no improvement in the next 30 days. Well, we are exactly 3 weeks to go until America picks its next president. And one of Michigan's key voting blocks, and Michigan is a key swing state, one of the key blocks there is the Arab American community, and they could potentially help decide the outcome of the election in this state. Just this week, two prominent Arab American groups there made an unprecedented announcement that they won't be endorsing either candidate for president. Michigan, worth 15 electoral votes, as I say, is considered a crucial battleground. Trump won there in 2016, but in 2020, the Great Lakes state went blue, with Biden claiming victory. But the numbers were tiny. My next guest is an Arab American and community organizer from Dearborn, Michigan, which has one of the highest concentrations of Muslim residents in the US. Samra Lukman says that she's a lifelong Democrat who has endorsed Donald Trump, saying this: believe him or not, if there is a 99% chance that Trump is going to continue the genocide, and I have to weigh that against the 100% chance that it's going to continue under Harris, I'm going to take the 99% chance. Well, Samra Lukman is joining me now, and it's good to have you. Thank you very much indeed. Your position, I think, is so important as our viewers around the world get to grips with what is going to happen in the States some 3 weeks from now. Before we talk about the position that you've had and the post that I've just read out from you, and we've had some breaking news in the past hour or so. It's good to have you on because I think your perspective here is important. The Biden administration has, we have just learnt, sent a letter to the Israeli government demanding that it act to improve the humanitarian situation in Gaza within the next 30 days or risk violating US laws governing foreign military assistance, which is effectively suggesting US military aid to Israel could be in jeopardy.
What this statement is, the 100% versus 99%, despite the fact that Trump has said he's going to finish the job, Miriam Adelson has given him $100 million so far, is the implication that the Biden administration is currently single-handedly responsible for it. And while the likelihood is that Trump will also continue doing the same exact shit, he's not currently responsible for it. That's the calculation that these people are making.
What's your response to that?
Well, I mean, first of all, we've heard a lot of lip service from the Biden administration. So a lot of the things that are stated have not been followed through, or in actuality, the opposite has been done. So, for example, saying that you want a ceasefire but continuing to send military aid, or saying that you may withhold it in the future but continuing to send it as we speak is really hypocritical, and the community really sees right through that. And then, on another note, the issue of the election for me and many other voters is not what Biden could potentially do at this point. It's a little bit too little, too late. We want accountability. We do not forgive him.
Like, I don't care. Like, I don't agree. Okay. But I'm not going to spend a whole bit of time criticizing this person, because how can I, when the Democratic Party has been like, yeah, fuck you. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I hate Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is going to somehow figure out a way to be even worse than the fucking Biden administration, but the Biden administration is committing the unimaginable. Once you're doing genocide, once you've greenlit genocide over and over again, that's it. You've maxed out. You've maxed out. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do for these people? Ironically enough, maybe now that they're saying they're going to vote for Trump, Kamala Harris will listen to them because they love Trump supporters. The Democratic Party loves Trump supporters. So maybe they will finally listen to these people now that they think that they are Trump supporters. You know?
For the genocide of over 200,000 civilians. So there is absolutely nothing that Biden could do short of pulling a Jesus and resurrecting all those lives that could make us come back to the Democratic Party for the presidential.
I'm fascinated to hear this. Can I just ask you, do you dismiss outright the efforts that the Biden administration certainly has been promoting in trying to get a ceasefire sorted for Gaza? I mean, I'm talking since November. I've been on that story. The first ceasefire was a temporary, albeit temporary, relief in Gaza, but the efforts have been going on behind the scenes since then to get a ceasefire, a more than temporary ceasefire. Have you just simply not bought those arguments, that effort?
Well, I mean, yeah, so historically, I've seen Reagan end a conflict with Israel and Lebanon with just one phone call. And I know that our president can do more and is capable of having that power and sway to do more. So I don't buy the lip service. I don't buy the crumbs of a temporary ceasefire here and there. And all the while, as they're continuing to send aid that is literally, we are watching people burned alive. We are watching mutilated bodies of babies. There is just nothing that he could potentially say that would make me believe that he's incapable of having called for a ceasefire by now if he had really actually wanted one.
Right. And I know that you're referring to images on social media that are horrific to see, and they are widely circulated these days. It is an out-and-out catastrophe. You talk about 99% certainty of what Trump will do. We've heard him talk about wanting the Israelis to finish the job, just get it done. When you talk about a 99% sort of possibility of knowing what he is up to, doesn't it worry you when you consider voting for Donald Trump and you hear his message on and to Israel at this point?
I've heard many things come out of his mouth that were contradictory, and right now we haven't gotten any specific policies, but he has stated that he wanted to stop the war. Now, what I can say is that with 100% certainty, had this genocide been occurring under the Trump's presidency, we would have seen Democrats stand up and find their moral compass, as they did when he moved the embassy. You had over 50 Democrats, I believe, that stood up and said, this is wrong. However, with the duopoly and the nature of politics in this country, because it is a Democratic president, you're never going to have Democrats step up, especially during an election year, and say, what is he's doing is wrong. So even if Trump was to do exactly the same thing that Biden is doing, I have a little bit of hope that perhaps Democrats would find their moral compass and stand up and say that, we would need a ceasefire by now. With certainty, I imagine they would have called for it by now had it been under Trump. So that's one thing. On the other note, Trump, as we know, is a wild card. And we've seen even after, towards the end of his prior presidency, that he soured on Biden. And I can only hope.
I love that the Democrats have given yet another opportunity for Donald Trump to come across as like potentially a peaceful dove with their conduct in Gaza. And also the wild card. Like, Trump was the president for 4 fucking years. We know what he's going to do. There is no wild card element here. The reason why October 7th happened is because of the shit that Trump did and the shit that Biden did not reverse. This is cries of desperation from people that have understandably been cast aside by the Democratic administration. That's it.
That due to some personality conflict or serendipitously he solves the crisis in the Middle East. My only goal is to ensure that people are held accountable for the genocide, and that it sends a message to him and any other subsequent president that you will not be rewarded if you do what.
It won't. Democrats will never learn the lesson. That's why I don't spend a whole lot of time being like, you're going to be able to punish the Democrats. You're not. You can only shame someone that has the capacity to feel shame. Democrats don't.
What Biden has done. And that is something that I think he is a political animal.
I'm not even kidding though. Like the fact that people are coming out and being like, I'm pro-Trump, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, could potentially cause the Democrats to be like, oh no. maybe we need to win their votes now that they're Trump supporters. Democrats have one speed. They only care about Trump supporters. So now these people are like, we're Trump supporters. We love Donald Trump. Maybe that'll cause the Democrats to listen. I don't know.
I'm sure he will see that message as well.
And for our viewers' sake, you've written, and I quote you here, there is no greater insult to me, a Muslim Yemeni American woman, or to my community, than to assume we do not understand the ramifications of a second Trump presidency. Two Arab American organizations, though, have decided not to endorse either candidate at this point. Last time, as I understand it, back in 2020, you wrote in Bernie Sanders in the 2020 election. There's a possibility of doing that again, given the risks of a Trump presidency, but you've decided not to do that. Can I just ask you why?
Yes, because I follow the polls closely, and with the numbers as they are, if the election were held today with Harris leading in Michigan and Trump, trailing about 3 to 4 points on average, you have about.
She's like, I'm not wasting my vote on a third party. She's like, I'm voting for Trump. She's like, sorry, this is not time. This is not time to fucking waste our vote for third party candidates. Okay. I'm going for Donald Trump. Sorry.
About 6% of voters who are voting for other. And if that election were held today, Harris would win. I can't have that. I made the political calculation that I need to vote for Trump, whether I like it or not, in order to effectuate accountability for the genocide. And so that is why I am now not writing in anything. I'm not voting for third party, albeit I do agree with a lot of the other third party candidates, including in my policies and the things that I'm fighting for, even actively to this day. It is a political calculation that I'm making, and it is strictly mathematical in order to ensure, again, accountability for the lives lost.
They will not learn the lesson. Just letting y'all know. Been there, done that. Not going to happen.
And you are a one-issue voter in 2024, are you?
With genocide, I think that even if you were to weigh all the domestic policies, the value of human life to me is out.
Wait. What do you think she thinks Trump's going to do? No, she's just saying, like, I think you guys are not understanding what she's saying. She's saying, I want the Democrats to lose, which is why I am voting for Donald Trump. That's what she's saying. She's like, I don't think Trump is going to be better on this issue. The only thing I know is that Donald Trump is currently not president and not doing the genocide. he's saying, I'm looking at the genocide, and my number one issue is the genocide. I don't agree in terms of like Donald Trump being better, but I don't even think that that's what she's saying anyway. She's saying, I'm not even wasting my vote on a third party. I'm not doing a protest vote for a third party. I'm saying this is specifically about punishing the Democrats for doing a genocide. Come on, bro. Okay. Her main issue is the genocide, and Kamala Harris is a way better shot at stopping the genocide than Trump. I don't agree with this person, but let me tell you, I don't agree with you either. Okay? You are hallucinating an alternative reality when you say Kamala Harris is a way better shot. Like, what do you mean? She's the vice president right now. Joe Biden is the president right now. She's running for the presidential election. She's the presidential candidate. What are we doing? Why are we hallucinating a different reality? No, both parties are maxed out on the genocide. Trump will do genocide plus, but genocide is still genocide. That's it. Bouncing on my boy's cockmala. I think it's crazy. If you were to make an argument like, oh, well, you know, Trump's going to be worse on domestic policies. Sure, there's like a couple different places where you can say that in terms of like Kamala Harris will not do a national abortion ban. The Democrats won't do that yet. Maybe down the line, who knows? But like, you are literally hallucinating. You are hallucinating. The DNC straight up gave no opportunities for even those who would do outreach in these communities to say, like, see, they'll be better. You are trying to outflank the DNC. The DNC has said, we're going to win this race without you. You guys can fucking complain about it here on Twitch, but that's not what the DNC is saying. The DNC's made it very clear. The Democratic Party has made it very clear. We don't even want your votes, they said. It's not that we're taking your votes for granted. We don't want your votes. What do you want people to respond to that with? Play stupid games, win stupid fucking prizes. Should I vote for Trump? Fuck no. Don't be an idiot. Vote for whoever the fuck you want, as long as it's not Donald Trump. That's why I'm riding with Biden, baby. I'm riding in Joseph Robinette Brandon. This is not even like don't make perfect the enemy of the good. Like, you can't even make the same arguments that liberals used to make about immigrants. Oh, I guess you don't care about the immigrants, sweetie. It's like, yeah, you know who also doesn't care about the immigrants? The Democratic Party. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to be making any sort of advocacy in these fields when the Democratic Party's communication on the matter is literally, nah, we want to do like immigrant purges too. We just want to like make it, I guess, like more processed and streamlined. Whereas the Republicans don't want to do that. They're standing in the way of progress in terms of building the wall.
outweighs everything. It outweighs women's rights, student debt elimination, economy, healthcare, everything that I love and espouse and have fought for all my life. When I put that against human life, it's nothing. It outweighs everything. And so you can call it a one issue voter. I think that humanity and life is more important than any other issue. So I will choose life over everything else. And if that's a one issue voter, then so be it.
Former President Trump also in Pennsylvania last night, making his pitch to voters.
I'm not kidding. I wonder if like this would have been better if they started doing this earlier. Like I'm literally seeing the method a little bit. Because like Democrats love Republicans, dude. They love Republicans. Bro, maybe if someone was like, oh, I'm a registered Republican, I love Republican Party. Like maybe the Democrats would be like, oh my God, we have to win these Republicans over. Are you planning to vote for Kamala? Suck my fucking dick, dog. Get the fuck out of here.